Well, good evening and welcome to the 7 o'clock talk. And I am outside at the house. Jessica's in a mad frenzy to try to finish spray washing the house. So I'm going to sit back and just chill because we've built fences and we've built more fences and then we have done tons of stuff to the house. But I want to take a second to talk about digestion. And the thing about digestion is the importance of digestion. And a lot of us don't think about how important digestion is. The stomach acid, and all of that is super important. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate the birthday wishes. It has been a heck of a day. Um, but back to digestion. The the thing I want to talk about is when we start to have issues with the stomach, we really don't think much about it. We start taking PPIs and other things to take the edge off of the stomach pain, or we drink too much and we cause tears in the stomach and whatnot. But once you start to lower that acid, whether it be by an H. pylori infection, or whether it is because you're taking a PPI or because you're gluten sensitive and you're still eating hidden gluten or you're just up and up eating bread. The problem with that is it starts to tear the stomach down. And when you tear the stomach down, you start to get allergies and you start to have all these other reactions. And this is where in functional medicine, we have a problem with everything causes everything. So you can have digestive issues. You guys can come over. The family is showing up. Say hi, everybody. This is where everything can cause everything. I'll be just a couple minutes. Mwah. Love you. Thank you. Love you. I thank you. I will read that here in just a minute. So the this is where we really have to protect the stomach because it is our first line of defense. When that starts to break down, yes, you have problems with allergies. And how will this manifest itself? You can get skin rashes, you can have itchiness, you could get hives, you can have all kinds of things. Thank you, Ms. Plum. I appreciate it. And so, as all of this happens, then you've got to start to reverse that because you can't leave the stomach leaky for lack of a medically we call it intestinal hyperpermeability, but you cannot leave the stomach like that because that's when if you continue to do things like I did when I was younger, then you start to get like Hashimoto's hypothyroidism and you develop antibodies to the thyroid gland, and as you get antibodies to the thyroid gland, then you can start to have other problems. So one of the main things that the antibodies do and thyroid does is it regulates your cholesterol. And so that's very near and dear to my heart. But there are other people with Hashimoto's. You can start to get blood pressure issues. You can start to get all kinds of things that will break you down just because your gut is leaky. Um, and interestingly enough, if you get tired, so remember how we've been covering the 5 stages or the 5 things that functional medicine doctors and I see most commonly are the fat, fatigue, digestive disorders, depression, and hormone dysregulation. When you get into that tired state, the adrenals secrete cortisol. Cortisol in a high state for too long causes lots of stress and issues, and it can affect the thyroid gland and it can affect the stomach. But you have to have that stuff to help with secretory IgA. If you can't calm down the adrenals and get into a normal circadian rhythm and a normal cortisol flow, then you have an issue with Sig A. And that's why it's so important to also test the adrenals. And you cannot look at the body as one single system, because it's not. If you're fatigued, stomach breaks down. If you have a crappy diet, stomach breaks down, and then you start to get thyroid antibodies, let's say. Let's say your thyroid gets off and you're not producing your thyroid hormone. Well, you get tired, and then the adrenals get stressed, and then you get fatigue, and then you get stomach issues. It's all interconnected. And so there are basically three body systems that we treat, and we treat in order. And the first order is, let's get that neuroendocrine system working so that you feel better. Earlier on in my career, we didn't treat the neuroendocrine system. We just wanted to treat the body and wanted to treat the gut and treat the infections and let the neuroendocrine come along. But there's that aspect of being just tired and being always sore that leads to issues. And so we want to help with the neuroendocrine at this point in time. And then once we do that, then we can go into the GI. Then we can heal up the leaky gut. Then we can start to help with the secretory IgA. And see, it goes in sequence. Sequence is very important. You don't become a millionaire and then save money. You have to save and not spend money to become a millionaire. And so if you have taken your body for granted, like most people and most Americans, then you have wanted to just become a millionaire without doing the work that it takes to save and quit spending. So that's when we go into the GI. And then last but not least, hi Gracie. Then last but not least, we're looking at the system of detox. Because if you have a burden in the detox system and your liver is overburdened, remember, everything in us is its primary system and then a redundant system. And so if your liver is fatigued, it's got to choose between, do I detoxify or do I produce energy? And then you don't want that, because there's supposed to be a rhythm, that circadian rhythm. If you have plenty of energy in the nighttime, it's supposed to shut down so it repairs. And you have to have that circadian rhythm. It all matters. What is it they say? The devil is in the details. It truly is. So when you're looking at digestive issues, you can't just look at the stomach. You have to see, is this person fatigued? Have they been somewhere, and when they were traveling, did they get ill? Did they get sick? Did they have diarrhea and stuff afterwards? Because you could be looking at a stealth infection. There are really only three things that cause everything in the human body. And you're looking at stress, which is emotional, physical, metaphysical, whatever the stress may be. Then food. And then last but not least is inflammation. And if that inflammation is a sensitivity, or is it because your mind never shuts off and you're always in that fight or flight, whatever the case may be, those are the things that really break us down. And that inflammation is a wide net to cast, because heavy metals cause inflammation. And thinking bad thoughts causes inflammation. And so you really can't look at digestion as just the stomach. There are components of it. Do you have enough pancreatic enzymes? Is your hydrochloric acid sufficient? Um, are these things working in their best interest to get you better? If you have an H. pylori infection, H. pylori in and of itself causes the hydrochloric acid to decrease. If you have a Bartonella infection, that will affect the immune system. If you have some sort of tick-borne illness, that generally affects the immune system. And so you have to figure these things out so you can treat the whole body. I have a 54-year-old petite female as a patient right now. And if you were to look at her, you would never think that she had high blood sugars. And so she has her sleep nailed at 8 hours a night. She has her nutrition nailed. She is gluten free. She is probably a 30-30-30 mix. Um, Everything looks great. She doesn't have any other issues other than her insulin is high, which will cause other things, and that's what causes her joints to hurt. It causes arthritis. So now she's also got a great community, great support group, and she has a prayer ritual. She belongs to a church that she loves and she works at, and she has wonderful family and friends. So her foundation to heal is awesome. The thing that we have to do with her now is we have to do that advanced testing to see what has happened and why the insulin is high. And that's that digging in. And we're going to do the three tests. We're going to do the adrenal, we're going to do the organic acids, and we're going to do the GI map, because once we do those three, we've covered all the bases. So I think I have talked on here long enough. If you have any questions, please reach out. Dr. Miller at integratedhealthofindiana.com. That's Dr. Miller at integratedhealthofindiana.com. We would love to speak with you, see if we can help you or think we can help you. And if you do that, reach out to the clinic, 812-346-1757. We'd love to help you out. If you like the way that this sounds and the way that I think, but you are in a faraway place, we do telemedicine. But you can also go on to the ifm.org's website, and you can find a doctor that thinks like me to help you out. With that being said, I hope you all had a wonderful day on this wonderful day, and we will talk to you later.